Welcome to Coding the Cinema. Today I'm excited to talk about the 2026 January Criterion Collection releases, and oh my goodness, Criterion, big thumbs up, two big thumbs up, love it, love everything about it. I think this is going to be a terrific start to the new year, and I'm going to be watching some of these just right after I finish my rewatch of The Apartment with Jack Lemmon, which is always just a great, New Year's watch. And Yi Yi by Edward Yang is getting a 4K upgrade. If you haven't ever seen this, this is a really great character study by Edward Yang, who also did A Brighter Summer's Day. And it begins and ends, well, it begins with a wedding and ends with a funeral and covers the lives of a few different characters. The back says, whether chronicling middle-aged fathers NJ's tentative flirtations with an old flame or his young son's attempt at capturing reality with his camera, it definitely imbues every gorgeous frame with a compassionate clarity. And this is really a very spectacularly shot film that I really enjoy. And I have a need, I guess, if I want to try this film again, to upgrade the 4K Dead Man. That Criterion has a 4K Dead Man, and I have my old, double-sided DVD here. I tried it once on the channel. I didn't get super into it. I know Roger Ebert wasn't the biggest fan of it at all. That having been said, I know a lot of people in the community are big fans of it, so I wanted to hear your thoughts on this. But basically, it imagines, according to the description, the American West as an existential wasteland that it does. Johnny Depp plays an accountant literally named William Blake, and he's caught in the middle of some kind of big lovers' quarrel. And I remember there's a little bit of Robert Mitchum in there as well. I would be willing to go back and look at this again, even if I don't buy it. But for those of you that are fans of the film, it does have a 4K coming out. Now, there is a director I have never heard of, and this is something I'm excited about. So the film is called Caught by the Tides from 2024. Ji Zhang's kaleidoscopic odyssey across time and space that takes different footage from other films and so forth. And I have not seen other films from this director, so I get the impression that this film would be a little bit more meaningful if I had seen some amount of that director's body of work. I don't really know, but it does interest me that Criterion's putting out something like this. It cast a pair of estranged lovers tracking down characters across an increasingly alien China as they age in real time, from the dawn of the millennium to the COVID-19 era. And like I said, I don't know. This one's a complete shot in the dark for me, so if you have thoughts on it, please share them. But I am eventually going to watch Caught by the Tides. It does look like a really interesting thing that they've put out. Next up on my notes here, Kiss of the Spider Woman. Now this looks intriguing to me, from 1985. Looks like William Hurt had an Academy Award-winning performance here. And basically the idea of this, as far as I can tell, is that these two people who have different lives, one's a leftist militant activist, and the other is a gay window dresser, and they're living together under this roof, and they can't escape or move. I don't know exactly the plot here, but they can't leave, and they are forging a bond to help each other understand one another through cinema. That's my you'll have to tell me if you know anything about it, but it sounds really interesting to me. I like sometimes, and sometimes I don't, when you have movies within a movie, but it could be really interesting. I know that it has pretty good reviews, so that's what I'm kind of looking forward to at least seeing. I did see, so the next of these, Captain Blood from 1935. This is a pirate swashbuckler with Errol Flynn, and I think it has Olivia de Havilland. I've seen about half of this, and I didn't really care for it that much as far as how much I was engaged by it, but maybe I was distracted or whatever. So this is another one I would be willing to give another try to. I'm not maybe the audience for that, but am I glad that an old 1930s swashbuckler is coming into the collection? Absolutely. It is really important that we get films from the 20s and 30s in the collection, and I like plenty of films from the 20s and the 30s, so I am willing to revisit this. And if you have thoughts, you can let me know. Maybe I missed something, but I'm glad that's going into the collection. As far as the films that I am most excited for, I think I'm going to buy the rest of these. So I'm probably going to buy the release Birth 2004. So I love Jonathan Glazer, who directed this. He did The Zone of Interest, which I have a copy of around here somewhere. I've been rearranging. And I thought Zone of Interest was one of the best films I've seen, in the last few years as far as a newer release goes. So this was his second feature, and it explores the mysteries of the heart through Nicole Kidman. So she's a widow mourning the death of her husband, and she meets someone years later, a 10-year-old boy who's like supposed to be his reincarnation. That is very interesting to me. Nicole Kidman has given one great performance after another. I'm a big fan of To Die For, that's already in this collection. And so, that sounds to me like something I'll probably enjoy. It's also supposed to have a hypnotic orchestral score, and I love the music and score in Zone of Interest, so I'm looking forward to that one. And finally, something I've sort of been wondering, would this ever make the collection? Roger Ebert was a big fan of this. I've referred to him earlier. But this is a film I've never sat down to watch it. This is called The Dead from 1987, the last film of John Huston. And I was looking, at the releases, and I thought, John Huston, I forgot, I haven't watched Chinatown. I have a 4K of Chinatown sitting over there that I've been meaning to rewatch. He's an awful good bad guy as an actor in that one. But this was based on a James Joyce short story. It's set during a snowy winter, so my plan is, since this is coming out in January, I'm hoping I can read the short story a few days before, the day before, watch the film, have a cup of coffee, that kind of thing, and do a video on it. And so the members of an extended family convene for a night of wine, song, and celebration. But it's not until after these festivities that Angelica Houston reveals a secret to her husband. And it makes everything different, apparently. I haven't read The Dead, but I'm really looking forward to reading that short story. James Joyce, a fantastic writer, and kind of going through the film, it seems like I'm going to enjoy that. That will be a must purchase for me. Look at this and all this stuff I'm going through. Swashbucklers and political dramas and birth, and what a series of releases so far. But the thing I'm excited about far and away, I have never picked one of these up. Martin Scorsese has his World Cinema Project, I believe, number 5. And this is probably only going to be $40 or $50 on a sale, and you get 4 films. So this is World Cinema number 5. Briefly talking about each film, there are 4 films with this. And I'm going to do my best with pronunciations here. Chronicle of the Years of Fire is a revolutionary epic, and it has to do with French colonialism and a farmer who seeks a dignified life. It won the Cannes Film Festival Award in 1975, and it's called A Landmark of Arab Cinema. That I'm excited for. Yom Dabo, which is a family's quest for self-determination. And I looked at a little bit more of this. It follows an impoverished family as they leave behind a quiet life in the city, relying on Western aid to start in the countryside. I looked a little bit of this online. It looked very interesting to me. A couple of, just some stills and stuff from it, but another piece of revolutionary cinema there. It looks interesting. The one out of all 4 of these that looked the most interesting to me personally was Kumadi from 1979, and it's photographed amid the lush pastoral landscapes of southern India. And it's like a folklore kind of thing. There's this guy that might be a boogeyman or a shaman or something along those lines. There are some masks that some of the characters wear. That sounds way up my alley. And The Fall of Artur, or Ortar, however you want to say it. This is a Kazakh New Wave film. And it has to do with the Genghis Khan siege or something like that. I'm reading these off of very limited notes. I know almost nothing about these films, so you're getting my pure reaction here. With a panoramic scope that encompasses intimate palace intrigue and the merciless sweep of battlefield carnage, it's supposed to be monumental. A monumental imagining of seismic, historic upheaval. Wow. If you just read through the descriptions, all these sound good. These are on Blu-ray, the World Cinema Project, but that's the one I'm most excited for. And this is just I was trying to process all this information and get a video out to you all, but I'm so glad that the Criterion continues to give us this wide array of different options and really celebrating cinema. And they're still the best label in my opinion. That's my thoughts. That's my reaction. If you could do me a favor and give this a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe if you haven't to Cody in the Cinema.